So I've been using the M1 MacBook Air for a few weeks now, minus, the couple weeks I had it before it died, and then it took some weeks for Apple to get it back to me. That's a whole story that, other videos. Anyways. But in the time that I've been using it, it's been my main work computer. And so I thought I would show off the best apps that I'm using that are optimized for the M1 chip. First on the list is Pixelmator Pro. I've been a long-time Adobe Creative Cloud user and subscriber, but it was getting a little hard to keep justifying the price because it is kind of expensive to use it for all apps. So thought I would try it. I recently switched to Pixelmator Pro. It is a one-time fee of $40. Honestly, it's an amazing app and actually got me to get rid of my Adobe Creative Cloud that I was using for photos. I'm not like a Photoshop expert, so I can't say, oh my god, it is a perfect Photoshop clone or replacement. But for the way I use it, for thumbnails and light image manipulation, this is honestly extremely good. The AI built into it is also really fast and strong, and of course it's optimized to the M1 chip, so it doesn't really use battery life, it doesn't bog the system down, and I've been using it a lot, and I absolutely love it. And I think for a lot of casual photographers too, this might be able to replace apps like Lightroom for them as well, because the actual photo editing side of this is really good. Some pros may disagree and want to use something more stronger, but I think for the common user, this is actually a really good software for $40. Alright, second one is Twitter for Mac, and before you freak out, Twitter for Mac has sucked, basically since it came out. But recently, it's actually gotten really good, and it's now optimized for the M1 chip. I've been using it for a while because I pretty much am on Twitter every day, all day, and I actually really like it. It's clean. It looks almost identical to the Twitter for iOS app, which if you use that, then you're good to go. For my use case, when I use Twitter, this works perfectly. And I think for, again, almost everybody that uses Twitter, this is a really good app. It's optimized. It's not going to use battery life. And, I get it. Maybe if you're a power user that has 35 accounts that you're running, something like TweetDeck makes a little bit more sense. But for all of the Mac desktop Twitter apps that I've tried and used, Twitter for Mac now is kind of the best one. I think this is an obvious one. I make videos, so I have Final Cut Pro 10. And I absolutely love it. I've been using it since 2011, and unlike Adobe, when it comes to Premiere, I paid for it once. Yes, it's a little pricey, it's at $300, but I paid $300 back in 2011, and I've never had to pay anything else again, and I'm still getting updates to this day, which is much better than the Creative Cloud account that I need for Premiere. But overall, I love Final Cut. It's my favorite video editing software. It's clean, it's fast, easy to use. It is probably the most user-friendly video editing software I've ever used. And the plugins for it that are available online are just so good. It really does round it out. And on an M1 MacBook Air, it's amazing to me how much I can really do with it. The fact that I can actually do full 4K footage with multiple color layers, with multiple effects and text graphics ahead of it, and just all that kind of stuff. And it doesn't even slow the system down. The battery's not being drained in. I have no fan, and it's still not getting my MacBook Air hot. It's amazing. Final Cut is honestly great on the M1 chip. So yeah, if you're doing video stuff, try iMovie, get in there, try it out, but Final Cut is totally worth the price. All right, M1 Macs can use iOS apps. Let's be honest, they all are pretty but I have found a couple that do work well, and the one that I use every single day is Apollo for Reddit. Apollo for Reddit is my main app that I use on my iPad and my phone for Reddit. It's amazing, and anybody on iOS, I think, should be using Apollo. It's way better than the official app. And Apollo, well, now works for the M1 Max. It is the iPad version of the app, essentially. But it works great, it looks clean, and it works with swipe gestures. So I'm able to use Reddit pretty easily. And again, like Twitter, I'm on Reddit all the time. So for me, having a clean app that just sits on the side, it's another tab in Safari, doesn't really use battery life, it's great. I love it. And again, if you have an iOS device, you should be using Apollo if you have a Reddit account. I'm just saying, just use Apollo. All right, last but not least is actually kind of a combo. It's GarageBand and Logic Pro 10. GarageBand already comes on Macs, so you already have it. Good on you for this one. But if you are interested in music or any sort of audio manipulation or editing or any of that kind of stuff, well, GarageBand is actually really good. I've been using GarageBand for years for music creation, and I actually use it for a lot of podcast editing. I'm on a podcast right now called Talking Movies. If you like talking about movies with friends, you should totally listen to Talking Movies. It's on every podcast app. Look at that damn plug, man. That was smooth. And I'm still using GarageBand to edit that podcast right now because it's actually really good. The effects that are built in are great. It's honestly a full DAW. It's a really good DAW for free that comes on your computer. And if you are just trying to get into music creation or trying to understand audio, this is a great place to start. It's already on your computer, and it isn't just some free Windows Movie Maker level type of free program. It's actually extremely good. Now let's say that, you already know how to do this kind of stuff. You've been doing this for a while and you really want to step up your game. Logic Pro 10, again, a little pricey, it's in about $200, but it is an amazing upgrade to what GarageBand already does. I've been doing music creation for years and I've used tons of DAWs, and honestly, Logic Pro 10 is my favorite. I know a lot of pros don't like it for numerous reasons. It simplifies things that doesn't need to be simplified. It does things in weird ways, blah, blah, blah. For me, it's the fastest to use, it's the easiest to use, and it speeds up the recording process for me and a lot of people that I like to record with. And once again, optimized for M1 chips, so it's fast. And I think, again, if you're trying to get more into music creation, a podcast editing, that kind of stuff, and you want more features, if you want other plugins you want to put into the program and to be able to use, Logic Pro 10 is amazing, and I think that you should check it out. At least do like a free trial or something like that and see if it works out for your workflow. That's everything I have right now that I'm using on basically a daily basis that's optimized for the M1 chip that I think that anybody with an M1 computer right now should have or be using in some way. But let me know, what apps are you using right now that you love on your computer? Put them in the comments below so we can check them out and talk about them. And until next time, later guys.